right, welcome to the Sweet Science of Fighting Jiu-Jitsu Instructional channel. Myself, James, and Ryan again. Today we're going to take you through a complete guide to K-Guard. So make sure you go down in the description. There's a link to the Sweet Science of Fighting Underground. You can submit your videos for breakdown, your match videos. You can also ask any questions on the technical stuff, and Ryan will be in there to help you there.
Yeah, just kind of for beginners to your basic understanding. K-Guard is essentially a guard I think is very necessary for no-gi, simply because it does play very well into the closed guard system. A lot of guards we play with, or especially no-gi, advanced no-gi, or we play a lot of inside position. The great thing about K-Guard is that if it fails, and I get here, and I turn on the side here, let me change this over. It's gonna have to go on this side. All right. Sorry, there we go. If I turn on my side here and I go to full guard, and I say I get a good crossfacer here, like I just failed completely, it's okay because I can go right back to full guard. So this is one of the useful things that K-Guard offers. To where it takes it's not as much risk. There's less risk. Also understand there's a difference between seated K-Guard and standing K-Guard. We're just going to be talking about seated K-Guard today, but there will be a standing K-Guard. So first things first is to understand how to swivel the hips. One thing this will also help you with your full guard positions is to understand how to use your legs to pull your body left and right. So if you can't really see what I'm doing here, but I'm kind of retracting my heels. I'm staying crunched to move side to side. Okay, so I'm using my partner to pull myself left and right. Okay, this is very useful when starting to add attacks. We can pull, right? We can pull left, we can pull with our legs right. So we're going to use this technique to actually achieve the K-Guard. So first things first, I'm going to swivel and put my hand between the legs. I do not need to get a hook on the leg yet. I just need to place my arm here. There are many reactions that we're going to go over, but the first reaction is they come forward, to drive forward. So what I need to do is just create frames. I need to deny the cross face, and I need to keep this knee open at a minimum, okay? A lot of beginners, they'll tend to collapse the knee, and this is no good, okay? So keep the knee open, and typically the shin you want to have in the armpit. If you notice when he leans forward, this opens up his leg, okay? So now I have a grip. Maintain your frame here. There is you'll typically want to go here immediately, but this is not necessarily a mistake, but I could get easily cross-faced here and smashed back down. So one arm is enough, technically. So what I want to do is, once I have all these frames in and I have my grip, I'm going to turn my knee down and go into full K-Guard. So if you notice, my shin is down on the thigh, my foot is hooking on the hip. So now I'm technically in K-Guard position. I have good frames, got my knee down. Now this allows me to swivel around the leg. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to create some tension with my right arm, and I'm going to turn everything to my left. So I'm going to pull everything to my left here. And I want the outside leg. It does a lot of work here. Okay, it's going to be framing on the armpit, typically trying to push my partner away from me. What this does is it makes a lighter leg. Okay, I don't want his leg heavy on the ground here. This is no good. So I want to push him away to make the leg light. Now don't get confused of which leg to throw over. Both options will lead you into a leg position. The fastest and most natural way that you're going to feel to go is the outside leg throwing the outside leg over top. So I need to go over my head, and I'm going to grab the big toe. I go ahead and start to pull the big toe into my pocket. This leg's gonna cross over, okay? So now we've locked in the legs here. So once the leg is crossed over, we're gonna switch our hips and try to get the person to turn. Now we don't necessarily want the turn, but typically they'll try to do a back step here. But if you notice, you can kind of slow this back step down. So let's just talk about the submission here, because this is the obvious submission first, which is backside 50-50. This was very popular many years ago, and it still does work. It's just that everybody has figured out that they cannot stay here in this position and try to run, because it doesn't work because I have a bend in the leg. So if you notice, I'm pushing this into my hip. This creates a bend in the leg. So now it's not easy for your partner to run away. Once I have this, I typically switch my grip, and I put my arm through, and I allow the big toe to fall into my armpit. Once the toe falls into my armpit, I reach back and I clamp the toe down, the toes to my ribs. I'm going to grab the grip. I'm going to go to a false grip. So this is gonna address the grip, what we're doing. If you look at my legs here, I don't have them figure forward. There are a lot of variations you can do with the legs, okay? Right now I'm opting for the top leg to be crossing over both legs and retracting my knee, my bottom leg back. As long as my partner's knee is next to my hip, this is optimal, okay? I don't want the knee on the outside, which would mean if his knee was here and I had this position. This is more entering into a calf slicing type of control position. So what I want to do is just try to keep everything crunched down to my body. And the way we finish this is we actually we create a whichever grip we choose, and we start to go belly down. So this would be the motion that you would want to finish with. My heels are also crunching to my butt here. Okay, so a lot of detail, but for basic 101 K-guard, this is initially what we saw, in ADCC when this was, we saw Lachlan doing all this stuff. This was typically, it was fairly new and people weren't sure how to deal with this, but this is technically what he was doing. So one more time, we're gonna swivel, get a hands between the legs, knee down. I frame to stop on the C-clamp on the bicep, and then I keep a frame with my outside leg with my shin into the armpit. Once I'm here, I can create some tension to pull, and I pull everything to my left. And I put the foot into the armpit. I want this leg light. I reach over, start to drag the leg to my pocket, take my left leg, throw it over. Okay, sometimes you will naturally fall here, and that's great. Sometimes you just need to keep that bend, go through your own arm, and capture into a false grip, or whichever grip you choose to use. I'm choosing to take my outside leg and clamp and retract over both legs. I'm retracting my knee, getting everything tight, and then I just would go belly down with the heel hook. So this is gonna be your basic 101 K-guard entry to backside 50-50. This is the most common thing you'll see with this position. This is also done from standing as well. It's just that it's a little more of an open position, and a couple steps are a little bit different, slightly different. So that's for the entry, just for your basic backside 50-50.